In the Eastern Conference playoffs, these matchups, some of them are like a little bit like how many people are going to watch this series. Boston versus Miami. At first, with Jimmy Butler, this would have been a really good series. People would have been tuned in. But now, without Jimmy Butler, it's going to be a quick series. It's going to be 4 games, a lot of blowouts. I think Boston, though, they have a really easy path to the Eastern Conference Finals, to the NBA Finals. I mean, you look at, some of their competitors. Milwaukee and Philadelphia, those two teams, their stars are banged up. Giannis is not going to play in the first round, and then B doesn't look 100% healthy. So Boston, this is a year to make the NBA Finals, and if they don't, it's a huge disappointment and a huge letdown. I think though the Cleveland Orlando series, I think this could be really interesting. Orlando, I give the nod to them, the edge to them. Defensively, they're really talented. Jalen Suggs, he's one of the best defenders in the league as well. He's an irritating defender. He gets after it. So he's probably going to be, guarding Donovan Mitchell. I really like what they do with some of the other players defensively and off the bench. Cole Anthony and Jonathan Isaac, I like them to provide a scoring punch. Cleveland really, they just have the minivan off the bench, Karis LeVert too, sometimes. But I really like Orlando in this matchup. I think Paulo Banchero, this is his like I have arrived series. I think he's gonna go out there and play really well. I think the Magic are deeper. Cleveland obviously has some more experience, but Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, those guys, the lights were too bright for them last playoff run. So this is an exciting young team that could come in, and their youngness could go to their benefit. They could go out there and shock the world damn near with this series. And winner plays Boston, so we know how that's going to end. But I like Orlando in 7 games. Milwaukee versus Indiana. No Giannis for this first round matchup, most likely. I think the Bucks still have enough talent to win this series. I think Dame Lillard, he's got to show up big. He said he's happy in Milwaukee. It doesn't look like it, but him, Middleton, and Bobby Portis, he's been huge lately. With Giannis out, he always provides a good scoring punch. I really like the Bucks still to win this series in 7 games. I still think they have enough talent. They still Doc Rivers. I think he's a choke artist, but he still can coach and win this series. Indiana, they play at such a fast pace. They play at the fastest pace in the NBA. That could be towards their advantage. But Halliburton, he really, since he got injured, he's really not been himself, and we've seen a different Pacers team than we saw in the in-season tournament. It's a different team. I think though this is gonna go 7 games. Dame Lillard's gonna play some of his best playoff basketball though, so give me the Bucks in 7. I think the Knicks versus 76ers is gonna be the best series. In this Eastern Conference, playoffs first round. I like the Sixers in this matchup the most. I think they have the deeper team. They have more scoring. Tobias Harris as their fourth option. Third option, Kelly Oubre. Batum can even give you some good nights. Buddy Hield off the bench can have a hot night. Cam Payne can have a hot night. They have more talent. They have more veteran guys. Batum, Kyle Lowry, playoff guy. He could show up big on a game or two in this series. Tyrese Maxey, I think he can match Brunson's production with at least 20 points. And if he could give you 20 and Embiid's going to give you 20, the Knicks really don't have another scorer that can give you 20 a night to combat that. So I think, as hard as they played all season, they usually burn out in the playoffs. Just Dibs works them too hard. And I think this is not their year, but next year definitely will be their year once they get another star with Brunson. Once they decide what they do with, Randall. But I really like the Sixers in this matchup. I like them to win in 7 games. Nick Nurse is a better coach, and their role players are going to be a huge factor in this series. And Joel Embiid didn't look healthy against, the Heat in the play-in, but that was really against one of the best defensive teams. I think the Knicks are a really good defensive team as well, but Embiid is going to show up, and this is a different Sixers team this year. That's all I got for the Eastern Conference playoff predictions in the first round. Let me know who you think is going to win some of these matchups.
Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.